So, hello everybody and welcome back to another video of mine. Today I wanted to talk about the FilmDoctor again, the FilmDoctor Studio. And yeah, I wanted to present to you another module of the FilmDoctor. So, let's get right into it. I'm currently sitting in front of my laptop, and as you can see here, I have the homepage of the FilmDoctor open. So the module that we're going to talk about is called Scratch Stress Analyzer, which is right up here. To show you everything, I will use a personal project, and the personal project that I used is called Scratch on Hard Coating. As soon as you load it up, you will already go to the material side of our Scratch Stress Analyzer. So I won't do that. So basically, what is Scratch? Scratch is pretty simple. It is when you drag one object over the surface of another one, and often damage can occur. And yeah, the Scratch Stress Analyzer, or I will call it SSA for short, can calculate all the different stresses and show you what went wrong. So I'm gonna press on it, and yeah, basically as soon as you load up the personal project, it will bring it to your material side. Many people already know that, but over here you can define the material over which your object will scratch. You can add layers, you can add layer thicknesses, you can add layer hardnesses and all of this stuff. But I'm gonna leave it like that because it is already done for me here in this personal project. Now we come to the indenter page, and on the indenter page you can define the object that will drag over your surface of the other object. And with which kind of force and what kind of radius the object has. I'm gonna leave it like that. Also, you can say if it's how it should look like. We often just use a spherical indenter, but you can change it however you want. After you defined your indenter and your material, you can press on Calculate Now and then press on OK. And this brings you to a special page, the so-called Scratch page. And this is where the FilmDoctor gets interesting and special. So for most Scratch modules, you are going to need, or Scratch analyzing modules, you're going to need something called a 3-path Scratch scan, which is basically measurement data which you can load inside here and add here on this Scratch page. So what the 3-path Scratch, the 3-path Scratch scan consists of 3 different scans. The so-called pre-scan. The pre-scan is when you go over your material with no force to measure how the surface of your material looks like. Then you go over your surface again, this time with force, which is the actual scratch, to measure how your surface looks like during the scan. And then the so-called then we have the post-scan, which is a scan that you do after the scratch to see how your surface looks after the scratch. And yeah, with the post-scan you basically also have, just like with the pre-scan, no force. You just want to measure how it looks like. So you have before, during and after. And yeah, as I already said, the most Scratch modules need, or Scratch analyzing modules, are going to need the so-called 3-pass Scratch scan. But the FilmDoctor basically can not only do the 3-path Scratch scan, it can also do the 2-path Scratch scan, where you don't need your pre-scan, and it can do a 1-path Scratch scan, where you only need your main scan, which is during the Scratch. So I'm gonna show you today the 2-path Scratch scan, so without the pre-scan, and the 3-path Scratch scan, to show you that it's possible, and the 1-path Scratch scan I will show you in another video. But basically we suggest that you use the 3-path Scratch scan because this will be a lot more precise. So as you can see here on my laptop, this over here is for the pre-scan, or from the pre-scan. This of course is how our surface looks like before the Scratch. I'm gonna do the 2-path Scratch scan right now, or the 2-path Scratch scan method, and so I will delete the pre-scan. And as you can see here, the FilmDoctor will set a simple flat surface to work with if it doesn't have any pre-scans available. You can also define where you want your calculation to start and where you want it to end, and how many animation steps you want in your how many animation steps you want in your result. So after you're done here, you just press OK and click on Animate, and that's basically it. So now we have to wait for a while, and this shouldn't take too long. So now, before I show you the results, I wanted to point out that I did a small mistake here on the Scratch page. So you may have realized, but I accidentally left the calculation start at 2.2, which is not very smart, because the calculation ends at 2100 micrometers, and if it would start at the beginning at 2.2, then we would have a super large area in which nothing happens. And you have way too few animation steps to see what actually happens over here, because that's all you really want to know. So if you want to at the calculation start and at the calculation end, which is the calculation area, you basically want to go right in front of the big failure, because that is where the failure starts to happen. So yeah, this is a mistake that we can learn from, and I just wanted to point that out. If you want to define your calculation area, do it right before the big failure. Alright, now let's go to the animation results. Now over here it is called animation results for a reason, because we said that we wanted to have 5 animation steps. Over here you have your little animation control, or like remote, and here you can start your animation just like this. As you can see here, the picture is moving and it looks very interesting. Now I'm gonna go to frame number 5. Now the special thing about the FilmDoctor is that the FilmDoctor will not only tell you, like most other Scratch analyzers, if it will break, but also when it will break and why it will break. So I will show you in this example. We can see if we look at the shearing stresses in XZ direction, we can see over here that is basically the reason for why our first layer suddenly jumps off or breaks off. So it is not because of the pushing, but because of the pulling. Cracks start to appear all the way down to the substrate, and then of course our first layer just explodes off. So yeah, this is something very interesting that our FilmDoctor can do. Of course you will have to look around the different stresses, and it sometimes takes a while to find what actually happened, but it is very precise, and yeah, that's basically it. Now I'm gonna show you because our FilmDoctor can not only do 2D animations but also 3D animations right over here. So if you want your 3D animation, you can press on 3D standard animation, and it will give you the standard, or it will calculate for you the standard 3D animation. So of course this takes a while again, so we'll see us in a bit when the results are there. So I calculated everything again, but this time, as you can see here with the pre-scan, as you can see, it's no more a flat surface, but it's way more precise, which is also why this one looks a lot more different than the one before, with all the different bumps and everything in the surface of our material. So now we go again to our animated results. Go here and can look at it, and this is a lot more precise now because of the little bumps in our surface. Everything is just a lot more precise. We can also look again at our shearing stresses if you want to. And again we can see here, this is the reason why it broke. So yeah, you can do it, you don't have to. I just wanted to show you the difference in between these two. I'm also going to show the 3D animations, or the 3D animation of this one too. But yeah, basically this was everything I wanted to show you today in today's video. I hoped you liked it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. And yeah, I will answer them in the next video, which will be Scratch part 3 without the post scan. So yeah, have a great day and goodbye.